gear review for you today of a new product from JACVapour. This is actually a review model of their new Series E battery kit. Not currently available. I think they will be available from the end of November, so keep your eyes on the JACVapour site for that. So I have been sent this review model early from Andy and also from Matt. So big shout out to Andy and Matt. Thank you very much for sending this, guys. Now, obviously, this is going to be an unbiased and honest review, as all of mine are. Now, I do have a 10% off code for JACVapour. I've had this since I started vaping because of personally, I started on JACVapour stuff and it's always been very high quality. Okay, so without further ado, let's get started with the unboxing. Okay, so here we have the full kit. The only thing missing is the hard case, which is included with the kit but isn't currently available with the review models. Okay, right, so let's start off then with the Series E battery, which is not only one of the most downright sexy pieces of vaping equipment that I've seen, but it's also surprisingly small for a 1000 mAh battery. It has venting holes at the bottom, which is a great safety feature at this price point. And if I can get it in focus, there we go. Okay, a spring-loaded 510 connector, which is also an ego connector, and will work with practically every tank and atomizer on the market. Okay, so just to do a quick size comparison for you, here is JACVapour's 900 mAh Vigo twist battery. Okay. And here is a 1300 mAh standard Vigo battery, okay, without the variable voltage. So if I just compare them for you, the Series E is about a millimetre thicker and a hair heavier, okay, than the standard battery here, but a head shorter. The 900 mAh Vigo twist clearly a fair amount thinner than the Series E, but it's also significantly taller, about 2 inches taller, which makes it a bit less comfortable in the hand than the Series E. Okay, so as with most vaping batteries, the Series E has a 5-click on and off system, but the star of the show, which I'll discuss a bit later, is this very colourful variable voltage toggle, which I personally think is head and shoulders above the twist feature on JACVapour's previous variable voltage batteries. So, obviously, even with a great 1000 mAh capacity, the battery will eventually run down, so included in the kit is a 4.2 volt charger. As always, for safety, you should only use the charger provided with the device, and it's clearly marked so you can identify it. Okay, here it is. Very distinctive look. Okay, now I'm going to struggle to do this with one hand, but bear with me. Just show you quickly. It's kind of self-explanatory, but I'll just show you quickly how it works. Okay, just try and get this in the right place. There we go. Okay, right. So you basically screw the connector on the battery adapter. Sorry, screw the connector on the battery to the connector on the adapter, and then just plug in that USB cable either to a computer port or to a USB mains plug for mains charging. Okay, right, so anyway, next up is this tiny box, which contains the beauty ring, if we can get it to focus. No, the focus doesn't seem to want to work. Lovely. Oh, well, there we go. Right, so, there we go. Don't know why I was so fixed on that. And I have no idea how this thing opens. It's like a little puzzle box. Does that end come out? Right. Okay, right, so one ripped box later and here it is, the Series E's beauty ring or plinth. Now, if you're not sure what a beauty ring is, it's basically a piece of shaped metal which you screw onto the battery so there isn't a large gap between the battery and larger bottom tanks and atomizers. Okay, it just makes the whole thing look a lot more uniform and pretty. Right, if I can just stabilize the camera. There we go. Right, so just to show you how it looks. Threading is perfect, as it always is really with JACVapour's stuff. Everything just screws together perfectly. And looks very pretty too. Can't argue with that. Okay. Right, so next up, probably the second star of the show here, we have the tank. Now there is a choice of a Pro Tank 3, a Jenny tank or an Aero tank with the kit. As you can see, I chose the Aero tank. Lovely clean packaging, plenty of instructions and information on the back. Okay. And another tricky box. Oh, I think this one, yeah, I think this one just slides out. Let's see. And yes, it does. It just slides out. So with a bit of gentle persuasion. Okay, don't expect to get into anything too easily here. Hard to do this one-handed. Really pushing myself today. Okay, and there we have it. Okay, nice packaging as ever from Kanga Tank. And JACVapour have included a lovely colour instruction manual here. Again, probably the prettiest instruction manual I've ever seen. Kanga's instructions are usually in very hard to decode Chinglish, to put it one way, so it's much appreciated to have JACVapour's own manual here. Yeah, plenty of information, some troubleshooting, which is always good. Even tells you what each part is made from, so that's it's a nice level of detail, definitely. Okay, so that's enough about the manual. Here are the parts, okay, of the tank, which do look just a little bit like some kind of scary medical device. Okay, right, so in here then we've got two Pro Tank style coils and wick heads. Just try and get one of those out. Okay, yep, they look to be the newer ones. If you look at them, if you know your Kanga heads, they've got a very small gap there with enclosed cases. You can barely see the wick. Okay, so I think they're the newer ones, which I've heard kind of mixed things about. 1.5 ohm dual coils, nice long stem. Some of Kanga's heads are impossibly short to work with. Okay, here we've got the Aero Tank's own beauty ring, which is very shiny and has a flared design. Okay, so just another option there for your beauty ring. And here, if I can get it out. Oh. Et voila, the Kanga Aero Tank 2.5mm usable capacity glass tank, stainless steel body, okay, and a notched ring at the bottom here for adjusting the airflow. Okay, I'll be putting up a separate video later on how to fill the tank. In fact, that should probably be online by the time this one is, so do look out for that if you need a bit of help, if the instructions aren't clear enough, which I think they are. Okay, Andy from JACVapour has also included here a box of spare coils for me to try. Okay, these custom ones have been whipped with Japanese cotton, which JACVapour are currently trialling, and they will be available with the Deluxe Series E kit when it goes on sale. So I'll be giving them a good go to see what I think as well. So thank you, Andy, for including those. Plenty of coils there to keep me busy. Okay, and he was also very kind enough to include a free 10ml bottle of e-juice with the kit, which also comes with the deluxe kit. Both the pack of spare coils and the bottle of liquid will be included with that kit. So this is real raspberry from the UK range, yum yum. Usual high quality bottle, embossed warning triangle, plenty of safety information and a very handy cap. Okay, so that, back to the battery, superstar, that about covers the kit contents. Okay, so just a bit of key information then about the battery. Okay, it's a 1000 mAh battery, so it should last heavy users at least a day. Moderate users should get a fair bit more. So really, from a day to a day and a half is probably a good estimate on this one. It's 76mm length, which is actually surprisingly short for such a high capacity battery. They have always tended to be a bit on the longer side once you go past 1000. Okay, so it's made from brushed stainless steel, so it sits well with practically anything. It's got a really nice look to it. Despite being quite thick, it's actually quite easily covered in the hand. Obviously, you've got the tank on the top of that, but it's quite easily covered in the hand, so it can be used quite discreetly. The button's quite, if I can get the autofocus to work, the button's quite pronounced on the side, so it really does not want to work. Oh. Okay, so you can actually, put it in your hand and use it quite well, not like that, but you can use it quite discreetly. Anyway, so it's got a spring-loaded battery contact here, which allows it to automatically adjust to work with even tricky atomizers. If you're like me, my kind of, up until now, my device of choice, and still it's not been relegated. It's still a very good device. My Inakin iTaste MVP2. The battery connector is a fixed one. Okay, you can't necessarily tell that from here, and the autofocus doesn't want to work. It's a fixed one, so basically the height doesn't change on this battery contact, this little bit in the middle. So if I put in a tank which has, you know, a battery contact that's quite high, then basically it won't connect very well. And I have had plenty of cases with the MVP where basically it hasn't worked with a tank because of the contact. So having that spring-loaded contact is really handy. I apologise for the fact that the focus is completely buggered on here. Anyway, so that's a nice feature really to increase the compatibility with other tanks and things like that. So the cost of it is largely in line with the current cost of the Vigo twist batteries. I'll go through the costs and things later, but basically the price is actually very reasonable for what it is. It's an 18.5mm diameter. Okay, there's those battery vents. So basically, because of the thickness of it, it means that larger tanks won't look out of place. If I show you, in fact, well, with one hand it's going to be hard, but if I show you in a minute when I come to actually, you know, show you it in use, some of the different tanks that I've got and how they do all sit really nicely on the device. So that slightly larger diameter is actually a good thing, because it means that larger tanks will sit perfectly well. And of course, you know, the smaller tanks look fine as well on it, so it's not an issue either way. So like the Pro Tank, Aero Tank, Nautilus, Jenny Tank, they'll all look great with it, as will really most of the, if not all of the tanks. So it is a 510 connector, so it will work with practically anything. It's also ego threaded. If I just take that off for a minute, it's also ego threaded. So basically what that means is that you can use it with EVODs, Novas, C4s, C5s, mini Pro Tanks, etc, etc. They all work. Those, you might need to remove the beauty ring like I've just done to get some of them to fit. So yeah, batteries, you can buy the batteries separately. Like I said before, you can buy these as part of some kits that JACVapour will be selling. You can also, I've got that on the wrong way, you can also buy the batteries separately, like if you need a replacement, or if you just want the battery and you don't really want the rest of the kit. It can be charged, the battery, using any of JACVapour's Ego and Ego twist chargers, or with the one that's included if you get the kit. If you do already have an Ego or Ego twist charger from JACVapour, then you can use those for this easily enough. Just make sure you do use a JACVapour 510 charger. Don't use anything else. All the reports you see at the moment on the news of people blowing their houses up because they used the wrong charger, well, to be fair, you know, it's kind of common sense, but you should only use the charger that comes with it. So yeah, so I'll show you what it's like in use, and then I'll tell you about the kits, the different pricings, and then we'll do a bit of a kind of score breakdown so that we can see what I think of it. Okay, so we've looked quite in depth at the kit contents and the battery and some specs. Now let's actually have a look at how the thing vapes. So I mean, look at that. That looks absolutely beautiful. That combination together. That's brushed stainless steel, just sits really nicely with anything. Now, as you can see, it's not actually on at the moment, and as I mentioned earlier, it does have the standard 5-click on and off system, which, if you click it, you see you get this lovely little light show. Very nice. Now, if I just get it to... There are 3 colours basically on this battery. It's a very, very simple variable voltage system. Now, if I just grab, if I can find the thing, it's down here. If I just, apologies for disappearing on you. Here is the JACVapour Vigo Twist. This is kind of the variable voltage model that came before the Series E. And if I can just get the Series E to stand up. Okay, now you probably can't see this, it's probably not going to be in focus, but basically there's a slider at the bottom and you control the voltage by turning that twist dial. it's a pretty decent system, but the thing is, the level of precision that you get with it, I don't know how precise it actually is in use, but the level of precision is unnecessary. I mean, you've got like, what, 3.3 volts, 3.8, 4.3 and 4.8. So you've got 4 kind of milestones for your voltage, and you can kind of leave it anywhere in between them, but really, you very rarely ever need to do that. I imagine there are people out there who do like to do it, but actually it's a bit of an inconvenience, you know, when you think I want to change the voltage. Okay, you take it out, say you're out, you know, and you've got a tank on it and you're out in public and you kind of just want to quickly use it, but you've then got to kind of look and take it and say, okay, no, it's on 3.8, I'll turn it down to this and I'll get to there. It's a fiddly kind of system. It works fine enough, and I mean, I still think that that's a really good battery, but it is a bit of a fiddly system, and actually this is a perfect compromise with that, to actually give you the functionality, give you the variable voltage, but also give you the power to change it in a much easier, more much easier, faster, more user-friendly way. So basically, once you've switched your battery on, when you press it, you'll see the light is red. Don't worry, that doesn't mean your battery's running out. Basically, that is 3.8 volts, or 3.7. I think it's 3.7 volts. It's basically the kind of what you would expect to get voltage wise from an unregulated battery. Okay, so here I've got my little 400 Mah battery. Oh, how tiny is that in comparison? And basically that doesn't have a twist or anything. That is just, you use it and it's at 1 voltage, okay? And chances are, if you've been vaping a little while, you've probably got a couple of these, you know, the old Ego batteries that you can't do anything with the voltage. You just put something on it and vape it, that's it. That runs at 3.7 volts. So basically, when your Series E has a red light on the battery, that indicates that it's running at that same level. Okay, so it's like a non-variable voltage. It's the lowest setting on the battery. Okay, now if you click the button 3 times, you'll see it changes. It flashes to green. Okay, so now the battery is coloured green. Okay, now that, sorry, not the battery, now the button is coloured green. And that's running at about 4.2 volts, which is kind of a nice halfway house in terms of kind of standard voltages. I know it's Vic Mullin's personal favourite, probably mine for most juicers as well. So 4.2, which is a nice midpoint. And if you press it 3 times again, it goes white, okay? And white is running at about 4.8 volts, okay? So the higher end. Now the tank itself, with it's got a 1.5 ohm dual coil, but because it's a dual coil, it can happily run really at any of those 3 voltages. Obviously, always be aware what atomizer you're using, what coil you're using, you know, what the total resistance will be, just so you can be sure that you're not going to end up kind of with burnt taste in your mouth. But basically, it allows you to switch between those 3 voltages. Really, 3.7, 4.2, 4.8 are kind of the 3 pillars of variable voltage. You don't really need to be able to micromanage in between them. Those 3 will do you fine. And it's such a simple system, you know, when you're carrying it, you just give it 3 quick clicks and it's back to 3.7, 3 quick clicks, it's back to 4.2. It's such a quick and easy system. None of this fiddling with a dial at the bottom. So yeah, so I've got some of the raspberry liquid that I got from, I've not got it here. Oh, I have some of the raspberry liquid that I got from JACVapour. I've got some of that in here. So I'm going to use that. If I just knock it back to 3.7, just for the sake of it really, you can hear a nice crackle. Okay, let's see how it vapes. Plenty of vapour coming off of that. I mean, this is a 70-30 PGVG liquid, so it's not even very high really on the VG, and it's running at 3.7 volts. More vapour than I was expecting there, to be honest. A fair bit of flavour, to be fair. I don't tend to use 3.7 very much because it's quite weak, and really there's no point, as far as I think, there's no point using a variable voltage battery if you're going to use the same voltage as you can use on a battery like the one I showed you before. So I tend to knock it up to 4.2, which is our green light. Oh, even more crackle. Snap, crackle, pop. So let's have a go at this. Definitely more vapour off that. More taste as well. Very clear taste. I think this, I mean, this also, the battery is very good at giving off the voltage, but this, of course, all comes back to the tank as well. You know, the aero tank, I think, is a really good design. It's got the Japanese cotton wicked head, one of the heads that Andy sent from JACVapour. It does give a very, very clean taste. I did, just as a side note, you know me, I like to do side notes, I did use one of the heads that came with the aero tank, which is silica wicked. They're always silica wicked, and actually it gave off quite an unpleasant taste. I swapped immediately to the Japanese cotton, and it tasted miles better. So me personally, I would say, you know, unless you're a massive fan of silica, cotton's where it's at, really is. And Japanese cotton does seem to give a much cleaner taste. So yeah, just a side note there. Yeah, so definitely more flavour, more vapour, which you'd expect from upping the voltage. So let's knock it up now to 4.8. A little bit of bubbling going on. Again, plenty of vapour. I do prefer 4.2. I think with this liquid as well, it just suits it better. And anyway, this is a 6 milligram liquid, so it's not going to give you a massive throat hit. Obviously, the higher you go up in the voltages, if you've got a higher nicotine liquid, you'll probably get a much stronger throat hit. But you don't really get much of that with this anyway. But yeah, so basically that's how you use it. It's as simple as that. You know, you just screw the tank on, you do the 3 clicks to just choose which voltage you want of the 3. If you change your mind, if you think, well, actually, you know, I'm on the middle voltage there, you don't even have to remember the numbers. That's the great thing. If you think, you know, I'm on the middle voltage here, and actually I want it to be a bit of a warmer vape, I want a bit more throat hit, just 3 clicks, couple of flashes, and you're there. If you think, actually, no, that's a bit too much, I want to kind of drop it down, 3 clicks, now you're at 3.7 volts, good to go. 3 clicks, and you're back. It's a really nice, simple system, and that's what is the big selling point for me on this, as well as the fact it's gorgeous. And it's also, it's got just enough weight and size to fit really nicely in your hand. It just matches all those things. It looks great. It feels great. You know, it's not a huge, long battery. You know, it just ticks all those boxes, and it's so simple to use. Just to show you, if I take off, always be careful when you do this. You don't want to open the bottom of the tank up. I did that when I first started vaping. Got liquid all over me. If I just show you a couple of combinations, here is an iClear 30. Okay, if I can actually just, there we go. And you can see, even that looks pretty gorgeous. Okay, and straight away works fine. There isn't really hardly any liquid in there, so I did get a burnt hit off that last night, so I'm not going to really risk that one right now. Got here a slightly leaky bottom, an iClear 30S, another Innokin product. Okay, and again, rotatable tip, again, looks good. Okay, that's quite a long tank, so that will obviously increase the length of your battery. Got a K-Fun Light Plus. Okay, now the K-Fun Light Plus is just slightly bigger. I don't know about the actual K-Fun. You can see there is a bit of a gap there, so it doesn't fit as well, but still, it's not really too bad at all. I don't know how the flared, trying to think of my words now, the flared beauty ring that comes with the aero tank might sit a little bit better with that. Now, when you use something like a Pro Tank Mini or an EVOD, you'll need to take off the beauty ring, okay? If you try to put, here's a Pro Tank 3 Mini, if you try and put that on, it's not going to fit because it's got a very big base. Okay, so you need to unscrew the beauty ring and then just screw the tank on like so. Okay, and again, it looks a bit unusual, you know, but not particularly, not that bad, you know, and it's still quite discreet. You can still kind of cover it if you want to do a bit of stealth vaping. Angry tank. that's got menthol liquid in, so gave a bit of a throat kick. But yeah, so you can see, and I mean, I've even got just one more here. I've even got my Scar rebuildable dripper. Now for this one, I would put this is a 510. Basically, if you're using something with an ego threading on it, like the ProTank Mini or the EVOD, you'll need to take off the beauty ring because there's your ego threading. If you have something with a 510 connector, you can use a beauty ring. Okay, so this will go on quite nicely, and again, I'm not going to screw it on all the way, but yeah, again, fits very nicely. Okay, it's got a nice form factor to it. Sits with most things very nicely. There goes the old K-Fun falling to the table. So yeah, basically, it is an incredibly good battery. It works with most things. It looks great. It works very simply but very effectively. Now, if I just go through the prices, okay, the battery on its own is $23.99. Okay, $23.99 is actually extremely good for a 1000 mAh battery with variable voltage with a simple click system. It is really good. I've seen batteries for that price that have been shit, basically. So that's a really good price. If you do want to get it in a kit, there are two options, I think. The first kit contains one battery, okay, a specially designed hard case. Unfortunately, I have seen the hard case. It does look lovely. I don't actually have one because the review units, the hard cases aren't available until the end of November, when the kits will probably be out. But you do get a specially designed hard case, a charger and a beauty ring. So one battery, hard case, charger and beauty ring, okay, and that is $33.99. Okay, there is a deluxe kit as well, where you get two batteries, a hard case, charger, Japanese cotton coils like the ones that I'm using in the Aero tank. You also get the 10ml bottle of liquid, okay, and you do get a tank. You have the choice of the Aero tank like I've got, the ProTank 3 or the Jenny tank. So they're all Kanga tanks from the company Kanga Tech, and all very high quality tanks. Now that kit is $65.99, which sounds like a lot. However, the tank alone would cost you about £20 if you were to buy it separately. Okay, so actually, you know, if you take the tank out of the equation, you're paying what, $45.99, and you're getting two of these batteries, the hard case, the charger, a pack of Japanese cotton coils, and the 10ml of liquid, which is worth £5 something on its own. So actually, it's a really good price. And you know, if it's always good to have a backup, you know, just like if you're out and about and you've kind of over exaggerated the battery and you need a bit more and you run out and you think, oh Christ, I've run out. Okay, then obviously having that backup, it will give you an extra day to day and a half of vaping. You know, more than enough till you get home. So yeah, those are the two kits that you can pick up. So basically, I'm just going to finish off now. I know it's been a long video. I've tried to make it as in-depth as I can, go through the features, show you the kit, break everything down. So I hope that's been useful. So I'm just going to give a kind of score breakdown. Design and build quality, first of all. Well, I mean, just to look at it, it is beautiful. I mean, even the way that the power battery is built into the logo, the way the beauty ring threads so perfectly and sits flush with the device, the fact it's got a lovely brushed stainless steel look, it's got the battery vents at the bottom. You know, I've come to expect, with all the vaping things that I've used, JACVapour has always produced devices and kits that are just top quality, flawless quality, and this is no different. You know, this is a top quality battery, and the kit, you know, the contents that you get with it, you know, you don't just get some crappy CE4, you know, like most ego kits out there, you get an awful little clearomizer with it that is just crap, basically, and you have to replace it straight away. You know, you do get, with the deluxe kit, you do get like a proper tank, a decent tank. If you're just starting out in vaping, then this is, you know, an incredible thing to start with. If you've been using an ego battery, or even like a Ciga-like for a while, then this is a great step up. But yeah, the design of it is beautiful. It's just really high quality. You know, the build quality is really high as well. So yeah, you know, there's not much else you can say about that. You know, I'd give it a 10 out of 10 for that. It is a perfectly designed device. There's no kind of, oh, you know, that's a bit weird, or, you know, suspect. You know, it's typical JACVapour quality through and through. Functionality, always important. Well, the button is incredibly easy to press. The 5-click on and off system is kind of standard, but it is good to have for safety. And as I've said before, you know, the 3-click interchangeable voltage is such an improved system over over the Twist. So the buttons are fantastic in the simplicity. Such an easy device to use, very effective. You can instantly taste and feel the difference kind of from the changing of the voltage, so you know it's happening. It's not just light show. So functionality wise, it does exactly what you want it to do. It gives you a good vape, and it does it really simply without any fuss. Can't ask for anything more than that. In terms of compatibility, it's got the 510 and the Ego threading, so it connects with practically every tank out there. The size, it fits with the size of most tanks really well. Obviously, smaller Ego threaded devices like the Pro Tank Mini look a bit strange on it, as do much bigger tanks like the K-Fun. But the majority of things like the iClears, like the Aero Tank, most rebuildable drippers, you know, they all fit really nicely with the device, and the size match is perfect with that. The beauty ring, of course, is a nice addition. It helps to kind of help everything look much more uniform to fit together, and yeah, basically it has a good level of compatibility to it. Can't argue again with that. In terms of its value, the cost of the kit versus buying separately, well, the tank would be £20 anyway. The battery is £23.99, I think I said it was, so that's £43.99 already. You get a pack of coils, which would probably cost you about at least £5-6. You get the hard case. Okay, I'm not sure what the cost of the hard case would be, but it wouldn't be, you know, dirt cheap. It's a very high quality looking case. You know, you get the charger unit. You get an awful lot in the kit, and actually, you know, for the price that you're paying, you're actually getting a really good deal, particularly if you get the deluxe kit, because you get 2 batteries. So that's what, 46, about like 47, £48 worth of battery. You know, and then you're getting the tank. You get an awful lot in the kit, and the liquid, of course. So in terms of value, I think it's incredible value. You know, you get so much in that kit, and there are other kits available if you don't want to kind of go to that kind of price point. So there are options as well. In terms of the longevity, how long will it last in a charge? Well, if you fully charge it, it should last you for anything from a day to a day and a half, depending on if you're a heavy or a moderate vapor. If you kind of just are quite a casual vapor, you only come back to it every so often, it will probably last you a fair bit longer than that. It doesn't take too long to charge, probably a couple of hours. I think I've managed to charge it from flat in about 2 hours. So actually the charging time is really good as well. If you do get the deluxe kit with the 2 batteries, then obviously you can put one on charge while you're using the other. So that's always a good option to have. So yeah, that about covers the breakdown, you know, the design and the build quality, the functionality, the compatibility, the value, the longevity. So overall, it's an incredibly good device. You know, it's if you want an Ego style battery, but you don't want one of the crappy ones you can, you know, buy from so many places that are just rubbish. You want variable voltage, but you don't want to be fiddling around all the time with it. You want something that's really quick and easy to use, that looks gorgeous, that will work with practically any tank that you might have, that does a really good job and is a solid device, and you can trust in the device. You know, it's not going to blow up on the charger. Then, you know, this is a fantastic device. And if I were coming into vaping now, I mean, I started with the Cigar-like models from JACVapour, but if I were coming into vaping now and I wanted to get an Ego style battery, this would definitely be the one to go for, because it has everything. It has the looks, the simplicity, the functionality, where so many other batteries miss one. You know, they might function pretty well, but they look crap, or they look great, but they can't do anything because the variable voltage is fiddly or not there. So it basically ticks all the boxes. This has been a really long review. If you've seen any of my reviews, they always are. I tend to drone on a bit. Hopefully it's been informative. Hopefully it's been useful. If you have enjoyed it, if you stuck with me the whole way, then congratulations. If you have enjoyed it, don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, all that business. And yeah, I mean, I would advise picking one of these up if you're in the market for a new battery. It is the best that JACVapour have to offer. And, you know, I've had some fantastic stuff from JACVapour, so that says quite a lot. Last thing to point out to you, this is a review kit, so these will be available, I think, from the end of November, around then. They're not currently available, so keep your eyes open on the site, look out for them. Yeah, so $23.99 for the battery on its own, $33.99 for the one battery kit with all those extras, and then $65.99 for the 2 battery kit with the Japanese cotton coils, with the choice of a tank, you know, with all the liquid and all those things. So yeah, I think I've probably taken up enough of your time now. Hopefully that's been useful. So this is the JACVapour Series E. Again, discount code popping up right about now. So if you do want to pick up one of these when they come out, then make sure you use that code, because you can get 10% off. Yeah, so if you get the $65.99 kit, then what, you're going to get £6.50 odd off. So very nice. And yeah, thank you for watching, and yeah, see you again soon, hopefully, for another gear review. Happy vaping.